Dear friends, in this session, we will be discussing on the market, technical and social feasibility of a business or a project. Let's begin with the market feasibility. Once you have validated your idea by assessing the legal validity of your project, the next step is preparing the market feasibility study. Market feasibility study is considered to be the most important study of the detailed studies. This study is essential to the rest of the feasibility studies. Without having a market study, it is difficult to know to go for the further studies of the detailed feasibility study. So market feasibility analysis is an assessment of the overall appeal of the market for the product or service being proposed. Let's understand what comes under the market feasibility. Market feasibility analysis helps to understand the conditions of the market and the customer preferences and the expectations. It includes demand or opportunities. You can understand, identify the demand in a market, what are the opportunities are available for your product by doing a market survey. Whether people will accept your product, what are the expectations do they have. You can identify your needs and preference of the consumers. Are you able to satisfy those needs or not? How is the consumer behavior towards your product and the product and services, whether it is satisfying the needs, and what is the expectations of the people from your product and services? What reaction you have to take to satisfy the needs of the customers, and what distributional aspects you have to considered while doing a market launching the product in the market. That could be your transportation, the cost you have to incur when you are distributing your product, and the policies, the packaging systems, etc. How would you reach your customers is another question. By using some promotional tools like discounting offers or something like 1+1 offers like that, or giving some other additional quantities for your product like that. You can reach your customers by using some different promotional tools through advertisements or something which makes the customers know about your product and which attracts the customers to come and buy your product. Next, sales after services. What type of product you are launching in the market is very much important, and based on that, what the kind of sales after services you will sales after services you can give. The service which will be after the sales of your product is known to be a sales after services. And what is the expectation of the consumer who has bought your product? That everything you need to understand. Later, the competitors here doesn't mean the product which you have launched, the same type of product should be available in the market. No, not those people, only your competitors. The substitute product are also known to be your competitors. Like for example, if you have if you are launching a tea, if you are starting with a tea business, and the coffee or the juice or some beverages, all those things are the competitors for that, because they are the substitute products. So you have to consider all those things also. Along with that, the stakeholders and the customers, whether they are satisfied or not. Stakeholders here includes everybody who are associated with your organization. That could be your employees, that shareholders, the retailers, wholesalers who are your distributors, and your customers, the competitors, and the vendors who supplies the raw materials to you. All those people needs to be satisfied. So when you understand all these aspects of the market, then you can do a better feasibility analysis of a market. Next is that process and steps of market feasibility analysis. Here you can see that it has various steps that begins with the market analysis and specification of objectives. Next is collection of secondary information, conduct of market survey, characterization of the market, demand forecasting, and market planning. Most of the steps here includes the part of the market research. Let's understand each and every step in detail. Situational analysis and specification of the objective. Situational analysis and specification of objectives includes who are the buyer of the product, what is the current demand, how the market is segmented, and what will be the break-even analysis. What customers are willing to pay, whether the people are ready to pay or not, how the product will be distributed among the people, and what are the import and export policies there are available in the market if your product is like you want to import or export any product. And then methods of branding for immediate sale. If your product is new to a market, what kind of branding method will you use? You can use you can bring your product into a brand which is already existing in the market and which is famous. Like most, you might have seen that most of the people use most of the some brands use Unilever. Under the Unilever company, they start selling. So that is how you can identify the branding for the immediate sale. And you have to identify other aspects like whichever I said now. Along with that, next is that collection of the secondary information or secondary data, what we call. What is secondary data? Secondary information or secondary data is one which is already collected and compiled, which may be published or unpublished, either by government departments or private bodies and individuals. To answer the question designed in the light of the objectives of the market study, the necessary information can be obtained from the secondary or the primary data sources usually. But here the secondary informations are like Census of India, National Sample Survey, planned reports, statistical abstracts, India Yearbook, economic surveys which has already been done and published, the annual survey of industries or annual reports. All those things which are already has been published or available for the secondary use are said to be the secondary information. You can go through those information and understand about the market conditions. Next, the conduct the market survey. In this step, social economic character, choice, and the preferences like need and demand, satisfaction level from the customer is collected directly. How do you do a market survey? You can go through, you can take the help of some questionnaire method or something. You check with, you will share the questionnaire with your customer and they will fill it up and you'll get to know how satisfied they are. Through all those things, you will understand how the people are responding to your product. It helps in more real data collection method from the market. Steps in conducting sample surveys, like you have to first define the target population, next select the sampling scheme and size of people who could be your samples, and then design the questionnaire, then recruit and train the field investigators. If you are alone and you are a beginner of the business and you are ready to do it, you can do it. Or if you are starting with a big business and you need assistance from somebody else, you can take an assistance for doing the field investigation, get the information from the questionnaire and get scrutinize the information collected and later analyze and interpret the information. Next is that characterization of the market. The market for the product can be described in terms of clear-cut characteristics based on the information gathered from secondary sources and through the market survey of primary sources. The characterizations could be like past and present effective demand, breakdown of total demand, the price, the method of distribution and sales promotion, the consumers, the supply and competition, the government policy, etc. can be understood by using the secondary and the market survey information. Next, you will be doing the demand forecasting. The demand forecasting is predicting future demand for the product. We will be predicting whether there is a product demand in the market or not. In other words, it refers to the prediction of a future demand for a product or a service on the basis of the past events and prevailing trend in the present. What is happening today and what has happened previously, based on that you will be forecasting what could be the future demand in the market. Some of the forecasting techniques which you can know, you may be knowing are like qualitative techniques like subjective judgmental estimates and opinions based forecasting, and time series analysis, and casual techniques like tries to understand the system underlying and surrounding the item being forecast, like sale may be affected by advertising or quality and competitions, etc. like that. Simulations model is like a dynamic model, usually computer based, that allows the forecaster to make assumptions about the interval variables and external environmental models. So you can use any of the demand forecasting method which is suitable for your specific product. Based on that, you have to do a demand forecasting. Last but not the least, market planning. Market planning can be said like it is a design a market mix to various target markets or market segments. A suitable market mix covers four major dimensions like product, price, place, and promotion. You might have heard the four marketing mix, the components, elements, that are product, price, place, and promotion. The product is like product line, the product design, package, quality, labeling, branding, like that. And the price, like the price which incurring all the cost, the profit, like costs are like transportation, warehousing, inventory levels, etc. And the profit margin which you have, everything should be incurred in a price, and the discounts or promotional tools which you have applied in terms of prices, all those things need to be considered. Along with that, place the pricing policies and the strategies, terms of credit, terms of delivers, margins, the places where you are offering the like promotional tool, where the location, the where like the where you are establishing your retail outlets, all those things are considered to be the places. The promotions are like personal selling, advertising, the sales promotion, public relations, publicity, etc. So all these are the steps of market feasibility analysis you have to follow to understand what is the market condition, whether it is feasible for your product or not. Next is the technical feasibility. Technical feasibility is like for market manufacturing a product or service, often two or more alternative technologies are available. The choice of technology is influenced by a variety of consideration, that is plant capacity, principal units, investments. The satisfactory arrangements have to be made to obtain the technical know-how needed for the proposed manufacturing process. Let's assume that you want to start a business of producing some beverages like Pepsi or Cola type of beverages, where you'll be having multiple of options to select the technical aspects. You have to select one of the machinery. You will be having variety of machineries for producing the product, but out of that you have to select one of the best machinery which is suitable for you. That is like technical aspects. So here, when you're selecting that, you'll have to consider various factors such as plant capacity, the your factory plant, principal units, investments outlay, and production costs used by other units, and product mix, latest developments. That is very much important, what the innovation is happening in the market, and ease of absorption, how easily you can understand and how easily you can use that machinery. All these aspects you have to consider while selecting the technical aspect, technical related thing for your business operations. Next, technical feasibility assesses whether there is any risk or concerns related to anything technical along with the way to proceed the project. When you are selecting any technical related things, you have to be very careful, because the things could go wrong and it will lead to any kind of risk. So here you have to assess and identify any related risk associated with that, and see whether how long the technical will work along with your project. Companies can assess technical feasibility by asking themselves, can we build it? So the company asks themselves that by using this or by using this, can we build it? Or if we ask going with these things, is it a right product, or is it the things which are adopting in our product, or all these things are right or not? So if you are producing a technical product, there also you have to see that can we build it, or if you're using some technical product for your product, technical things, technical resource for your product, you have to see whether can we use it. So can we build it and can we use it, or the two important things which you have to answer before selecting any technical resource or producing any technical product. The question certainly examines whether the company has sufficient skills, knowledge, and the capacity of the technologies that are used for the project. Let's assume that you want to find a medicine for COVID-19 is an example for the technical feasibility. Now, is it you simply cannot find the medicine for the COVID-19 because there is a risk associated with, because you are dealing with the life of the human beings here. If you identify a proper sufficient skills, knowledge, and capacity and the technologies to produce the medicines for the COVID patients, you will succeed like anything that is there, but along with that there is a huge risk associated with that. So it is very much important you do analyze the technical aspects of that and see what are the sufficient skills available, knowledge, capacity, and the technology available. Later you can go with that project. In addition to that, companies can also consider is the technology appropriate for the project, reconfirm the necessity of the technologies that they are about to use, whether users or developers are already familiar with these technologies, and so on. You cannot bring something into a market where people are not at all aware of. If you are bringing something like that, how better you can make the product in such a way that the people should be able to easily have an access about that. So you should make sure it is appropriate technology, and also you have to reconfirm with the necessity of the technology. There is a need for that or not in the market. If there is a no need for that product, there is no need of that technology, you shouldn't bring it to the market. There is a chance of harmfulness for the other people who are using it, and when there is a no need, then people will definitely not buy it also. So by considering all these aspects, you have to check the technical feasibility. Let's see what are the technical feasibility factors to be included. First of all, the production technology and the plant capacity utilization strategy. What is your production technology and the plant capacity? What is the capacity of your plant? How better you can utilize it? You have to strategize that first. Next, product specifications to be adopted. What are all specifications need to be adopted in your product, the feature characteristics, and what are all things you want to include in your product are to be defined. Next, raw materials availability as per the requirements. You want to produce a product, do you have all the types of raw materials which are required to produce a product? That you need to identify. Next, selection, placement, training, or skilled labor. Do you have a skilled labor who are going to produce your product? Or if you don't have skilled laborers, are you going to train them? And how would you select them, and where will you place them? All these things you have to define. Next, preparation of a work, schedule, labor time, idle time, etc. At what time you will be working, what will be your labor time, how much idle time you guys are going to do, and all those things you have to identify. Later, quality control measures. What are the quality control measures you are adopting? Like you might have seen that ISO related to quality control things to avoid any kind of harmfulness for the environment and the people who are using it. In the same way, you have to use the quality, you have to adopt the quality control measures so that it shouldn't be any harmful to the people and the users. The next, power, water availability, and the supply layout. When what type of technology you are using, whether you need any kind of resources like this, and whether they are available, all those things also you have to consider. Next, communication network layout. The communication, the way you are communicating within an organization or external communication, all those things, how well you have the layout you have about your communication, things to be considered. Next, general functional layout, commonly where you are working along with your employees, that is general functional layout. and there where you be like HR activities, marketing, HR, production and distribution, packaging, all these activities takes place outside with the general functional layout, where materials flow diagram states and gives you an information how the material is flowing, how what is the material available in the market, so in the organization, and how much needs to be ordered, whether we are using it properly, or overutilization is going on, or up or underutilization is going on. All the details of that will be given by the material flow diagram. It also helps us to understand the this if the material is used properly and there is no availability of material and we need it in future, we can easily order based on the material flow diagram. Next, production line diagram. Production line diagram gives us the details that the like what is the production process, and how much we are producing, are we producing as per our target or not, and are we producing are we utilizing the available resources like men, materials, machineries, and the money, methods, everything we are using properly, or we are doing some idle time and we are losing the we are wasting the resources or anything. We'll get to know through the production line diagram. Next, plant, equipment, furniture, fixtures, layouts, continuous updating technologies to be kept in view. We have to identify what are the updates happening in a market and see that we are adapting to the changes happening, so that we shouldn't be lagging in any kind of updations and technology. Next, laboratory facilities to continuous check. We have to keep on checking the product before launching it into a market. There is not chances it may be harmful to the people using it, so it is better to check before sending it into a market. Next, provisions for treatment of effluents, waste, spoilage, pollutants, etc. How would you treat the wastages or spoilage, pollutants come out of your factory or the building? The how would you treat it? Or everything needs to be planned properly. Next, adoption of up-to-date government rules and laws relating to your technology. All these factors needs to be considered when you are doing a technical feasibility analysis. Next, social feasibility analysis. Social feasibility is a detailed study on how one interacts with the others within a system or an organization. Here, it's all about social here means that how you are interacting with each other. That could be within an organization or with the external people out of the organization. As a business, as an organization, the social impact analysis is an exercise aimed at identifying and analyzing such impacts in order to understand the scale and reach of the project social impacts. How much and at the what scale, large scale, medium scale, small scale, at a what scale and at a what kind of impact or reach you are having with your social your society and the social system, is what social feasibility analysis is. Social impact analysis greatly reduces the overall risk of the project, as it helps to reduce resistance, strengthen general support, and allows for more comprehensive understanding of the cost and benefit of the project. Here you can understand what is the actual cost and what is the actual benefit I am getting when the by going for the social impact and social or systems. When I'm interacting with the social system, what is the cost and benefit I am getting? The benefit not necessarily means that it is the benefit which you get for your business only. The benefit could be for an individual, the benefit could be for the society, for the business, for anybody, for the customer, anybody. The social feasibility analysis helps us to understand what is the cost we are incurring and what is the benefit the project is giving for us. However, social impact analysis can be expensive and time consuming, so the full analysis process cannot be justified for all the projects. So here it is somewhat expensive and somewhat time consuming also. So most of the time people won't go for the deep analysis of the social feasibility, but still it is a kind of required feasibility analysis. Next, let's see what are the social feasibility feasibility includes next maintenance of quality of a product and fair practices for the customers. You might have seen that if you are failing to provide a proper quality of a product and you are not maintaining a fair prices in a market, then you are not giving a justice to the society. The MRTP Act, those kind of acts has been introduced by the government to avoid any kind of alteration of the product that you are supplying, or what the quality you are providing, that shouldn't that should be there, and the fair competition should be there, so that the people should not be manipulated with the differentiation in the prices, and the people, all the businesses should also utilize the business opportunities and make some profit, and people should not be cheated. That's why they have some kind of rules and regulations also. Here also, being a socially responsible business, it is your duty to provide a quality of a product and fair prices to the customers. So when you are socially responsible, you have to be conscious about the environmental protection also, and you shouldn't do any activities which will harm the environment of our surroundings, like plantation, cutting up plants, trees, demolishing the demolishing of buildings, and polluting the environment, or sending the untreated sewages into the rivers, which which may lead to water pollution. All those things you shouldn't do. You should avoid those things and take measures for the environmental protection. Next is that creating employment for the people in the local area. As much as possible, you should keep on creating the employment, like the Tata group of companies. They are such a great companies. They are very good in social feasibility. Like they are socially so responsible. Like recently we got to know that the company is providing, Tata Steel company is providing, will be paying the salary of the uh, employees who died because of COVID. That is how they are so much socially responsible. Here, when we are thinking about creating an employment for the people, Tata companies, like they keep on producing one or the other product. It is because not only because they want to expand their business opportunities, but also they want to create some of the employment in local areas and other things. That is a kind of social responsible business. Healthy employer and the employee relationship. To have a good employer and employee relationship, you should be socially responsible towards your employees also. Like when you provide your employees with the social benefits, like insurance, provident funds, or gratuity, all these things which the employees feel that they are secured, and socially they are secured, and they have kind of social status in the market. When you pay them better, and at a competitive rates, you hire them, and you are satisfying all the needs and requirements of your employees, they feel satisfied. That is a kind of social activity which you can contribute for your employees also. It will increase the good relationship between both of you. Next, improving the salary structure to the workers. Like I said, when you improve the salary structure, automatically the standard of living of the people will increase. When the standard of living increase, the status of them, from middle class to higher middle class to um, rich people, like that, the people's status, if you are giving us employment and the salary structure is good, the people keep on increasing their status in a society. Next, estimation of cost and benefit to the society. You have to estimate what is the cost and benefit, the cost you are incurring, and what the benefit the society may get. All these things. Next, providing better working conditions, and identify the needs of your employees, and provide a proper working condition within your organizational structure, like providing them with a proper sanitation facility, water drinking facility, and keeping them safe from any the mischiefs activities within an organization, keeping them away from any fire related or some issues where they may get into an accident or anything which may cause on their health. All those things you should avoid. You have to keep them away from all those things, and should be very careful about their health. And you should maintain a first aid box and ambulance kind of facilities, stretchers, and um, you should encourage them by providing a better working conditions like that. Next, social cost benefit analysis. What it considers the estimation of cost and benefits which will accrue to individual members of societies as consumers or as a suppliers of factor input. Cost and benefits accrue to the community. The cost and benefits accrue to the national care, and cost and benefits accrue to the entrepreneur over a period of time to determine the feasibility of the proposed business activity. All these cost and benefits needs to be analyzed and considered when you are doing a social feasibility analysis. So in this session we have understood the market feasibility, technical feasibility, and the social feasibility of the business or a project.